was just going to say, I have to ask you this. This obviously happened under the Donald Trump first administration. I know this is
Yeah.
speculation. I understand
Hmm.
that. But with that being said, do you believe that there is a possibility that either Donald Trump or somebody in his administration close in his orbit could have been a part of your brother's demise behind bars?
Well, I look at it this way again. I'm told you I'm reluctant to speculate. I like looking at facts. Fact: Bill Barr was the Attorney General of the United States at the time. Bill Barr worked for Donald Trump. Bill Barr came out with that ridiculous statement, which led me to believe initially that it's a cover-up. Until that point in time, I believed that he killed himself. And then there's a lot of other facts that are not general knowledge. In a few days after the death, Jeffrey had a hearing scheduled to appeal the bail decision. Okay, and the bail was being substantially raised. So, maybe unlikely, there's maybe a chance he could have got bail because it would have been the highest bail ever in the United States.
Right.
That was coming up in a few days. Now, knowing Jeffrey, if he knew this hearing was coming up and he was thinking about killing himself, wouldn't you wait a few days? Because if he got the bail, he'd be living in his house, with armed guards and ankle monitoring cameras. He wouldn't have to languish in jail for a year. If the hearing came up and bail was denied again,
yeah,
I said, okay, he didn't want to be a year in jail, so he killed himself. More understandable. But why would you kill yourself a few days before?
Doesn't make sense.
Trying to post the highest bail in U.S. history.
It's a really good point, Mark, you bring up. Mark, are you in fear of your life that if you're out there and you continue to push for answers, which, by the way, I don't blame you for doing so, are you in fear of your life? Or are you in fear that people will be out to get you because of who your brother was and the fact that you're questioning, the FBI deputy director? Are you in fear for your life?
No, I'm not really in fear of my life. I mean, I'm not. This is why I don't appear on camera anywhere. I don't need people. I travel a lot. I don't need being somewhere with people, recognizing me. But right. I'm not in fear of my life. No. At the early stages, with the death threats, I was in touch with the New York City Police Department and the FBI. But I'm not really in fear of my life.
Last question, Mark, and I really do appreciate your time. What do you think is the biggest misconception by the general public and the media when it comes to your brother, when it comes to your family, anything? What is like the biggest issue that you have that people think about your family or think about your brother that you would want to set the record straight?
I've been asked that a number of times, and I said before, I don't feel it's my job to defend my brother because he did things he shouldn't have been doing. I'm not trying to say he was an angel, but I don't want to get into the character stuff or the family stuff.
Sure.
I'm just concerned about, I think my brother was killed, and I just don't want somebody just getting away from it scot-free.
I'm with you on that 150%. Your questions deserve answers, by the way. Do you think you'll ever get them? You think you'll ever get these answers?
Likely not, but I want the questions out there.
Yeah.
Look, we still don't know everything about JFK, right? It's 60 years later.
That's true. That's absolutely true.